Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. It is me, Spencer, Fragrant King. I am looking forward to talking about these fragrances with everyone. I am a huge Sarah Jessica Parker fan. If you know, she has a pretty substantial line of fragrances. I do have my collection right back here of all of her fragrances. I don't have everything that she's released, but I feel like at some point I have had everything and then I've let a few things go. I think there's maybe like 2 fragrances of hers that I have not tried at all. However, in this video, I'm going to be reviewing 4 fragrances of hers. These are all of her new releases for the year 2025. She has released 3 fragrances under like a whole new line. It's her parfum line, and I was able to get my hands on those. And then she still keeps doing flankers of Lovely, and the Lovely flanker I have is the newest one to a Lovely Summer, which is kind of like a split off from Lovely. And I want to review them all with you all, so stick around and let's dive in. So I want to start with the new flanker to Lovely. This one is called a Lovely Summer Sunburst. So here is our box. Really sunny, really pretty. If you follow my Instagram, I did do a review about this. I finally got it. It went through some trials and tribulations. I actually purchased it earlier in the summer and then it got lost. Literally the package got lost because this was originally just launched overseas. So I got it from Canada and then the package made it to New York and disappeared. And finally, one of my sellers here in the United States that I've bought from before on eBay, who is trustworthy, he had it for sale for like $41. So I got this for $41. Now, this is a flanker from Lovely, her original fragrance. It is a flanker off of A Lovely Summer. So A Lovely Summer was released, I want to say, in 2024, maybe 2023, at least a year. Beautiful bottle. However, the smell was not so beautiful. It's a musky, spicy, powdery scent that just did not work for me, mainly because of the spices, the amber, and the cardamom. I'm not a cardamom fan. So thankfully, this fragrance, A Lovely Summer Sunburst, has none of that. It is described as a delightful scent that brings a ray of sunshine to your everyday with orange, neroli, amber, jasmine, musk, and cedarwood. It is labeled as a citrus, woody, powdery scent. I was expecting it to be a little more tropical due to the neroli and like mandarin and orange, but there is like skin scents, musk, iris, jasmine, lily of the valley, and amber. I have already put a good dent in this, so here's our bottle. I pardon myself if my bottle's a little dirty. I love the bottle and I love the like hot pink like little top. So pretty. The scent is definitely a fresh orangey. Really pretty scent. I definitely, when I sprayed it, was shocked because I thought, like I said, it would be more tropical. It's not. The iris is there with that ambrox, but it's really mainly just like a neroli, mandarin, orange, cedar scent. I did say it reminded me a bit of Marrakesh in a Bottle by Kay Ollie, but it actually is an identical, spot-on resemblance to Finery's Magnetic Candy. If you've ever purchased or smelled or worn Finery's Magnetic Candy, which I adore, it's like my favorite Finery. It's over there on the other side of my closet and collection of my other Fineries, so I'm not going to go grab it, but it smells identical to this. Marrakesh is more orangey and woody and less of that neroli because neroli is kind of sweet and that's where the tropicalness comes also from that amber and the iris in this. But this smells identical to Magnetic Candy. Magnetic Candy might be a little sweeter, and I do believe Finery is a dupe house. You can purchase it at Target for like $29 or $30, I think. $29 or $30, $1 difference. Basically for $30, maybe a little cheaper. I'm not sure. But I think Magnetic Candy is duping something. Maybe I'll go back when I edit this, and if I figure it out, I'll pop it up. But this smells just like it. The longevity, though, on A Lovely Summer Sunburst is lacking. It is super, super simple. Reapply. I think that's why I've put such a big dent in it, because I've only had it for maybe 3 weeks. Lacking in longevity. Magnetic Candy, again, a cheapie from Target. Way better longevity. But I think it's like $20 or $30, maybe. This is only $41. I'm not mad at it. And I like it. It's a pretty bottle. It looks good. It'll look good in my collection. I actually haven't got to put it in there yet because I've been wearing it, so I haven't put it in my cabinet. But I really like it. If you can get your hands on it, I recommend it. If you want something that's light, not too strong, again, 3 to 4 hours use out of it before you have to reapply. But I like it. It doesn't have a lot of comparisons to anything I have. The biggest comparison is people say it smells like Byredo's Sun-Dazed. And then, of course, there's my Finery comparison in there. That's all on Fragrantica and Parfumo. So, looks like you can still find it on eBay. Some people are selling it for a little more. Looks like it's going for about $60 to $70 now, which I think is overpriced. So if you can find it in the $40 to $45 range, it's worth it. So that's that one. Earlier this year, we found out that Sarah basically just disappeared with her fragrances, which I didn't really touch on earlier when I was just talking about Sunburst. But she had a SJP fragrances like Instagram and website, and it just disappeared. She did close her production of her shoes. Sarah Jessica made shoes, and the footwear just disappeared. I don't really know what happened. I've tried looking it up online, and I never really get solid answers other than she just chose to go a different direction. But yes, she's still producing perfumes, and there's no website, there's no retailer. It's really weird. However, she did drop these 3 new fragrances in a parfum collection called the SJP Parfum Collection. I'll show you. So we get 3 fragrances from this year called Blue Rhapsody, Divine Lime, and Smitten in Pink. They're in like a really unique bottle design, and they were really hard to find. At first, I want to say I only saw them pop up overseas, and then finally a retailer here in the United States picked them up, and maybe they were always going to pick up SJP's fragrances, but that is Belk, B-E-L-K, Belk, or as the West Virginian, Kentucky people where I live call it Belks, like Walmart's. They're like, well, I'm going to go to Belk's. So Belk's decided to pick up SJP. However, the Belk that I have close to me, only like 20 minutes away in Ashland, Kentucky, which is right next to me here in West Virginia, they don't carry it. They didn't even know what I was talking about when I went. The lady did at least know who she was. And she's like, oh, yeah, I love her fragrance. It's love. And I said, lovely. And she's like, yeah. I showed the lady a picture of these 3 fragrances. She'd never heard of it. She went over to their system, though, and then found it. And she's like, oh, I can order them for you. At the time, they were $100 a bottle. So that's $300 for complete blind buy fragrances. So I held off. I have been reviewing every review, which there are very few, on Fragrantica, Parfumo, anything, to see what people thought of these. And little by little, they all started to get at least 1 or 2 reviews, none of which were amazingly helpful, but they kind of gave me an idea what would be the first safe blind buy. So I really decided I was going to blind buy just one of them, and that was going to be Blue Rhapsody. However, I never did it. Actually focused more on getting Lovely Sunburst because I knew I was going to like it, which I do. My issue was I still was really trepidatious about purchasing a $100 fragrance blindly, even if it is SJP, because I do love her. But I just couldn't do it. Well, then where I had signed up for some alerts from Belk, they had a sale, like their anniversary sale, where everything was 15 to 20% off, even fragrances. So I grabbed all 3 for like $240. I did meticulously open the packages to where if I have to return them, I can. And we're going to start with what would have been my blind buy, and actually my favorite of the 3, and that is Blue Rhapsody. So Blue Rhapsody, here we have it. This is the package. Really nice packaging. You can tell it's a little bit elevated from some of her other stuff. The package on the back says, surrender yourself to the intoxicating ecstasy of aromatic spice. Ancient mysteries are revealed as amber and oud are unveiled by a gentle flutter of mandarin. And then it actually gives the fragrant notes. So the fragrance notes are pink pepper, mandarin, musk, jasmine, iris, nutmeg, sandalwood, amber, and oud. So it is described on Fragrantica as a powdery oud, woody, amber, fresh, spicy, iris, musky, citrus, warm, spicy, violet scent. Mouthful. musk and mandarin in the top, the iris, the nutmeg, the oud. So I'm not a huge oud fan, as we know from my issues with Kay Ollie's oud collection, but I do like some. I knew this would probably work because of the fact that it gave a powdery oud scent with iris. Ouds, if they have like a right floral with them, can be really powdery and beautiful, and that's the case with this. So I want to show you all the bottles. So I'm going to put my microphone down. I've been trying to hold it to get better clarity, so hopefully you can still hear me. I'm going to like clip it to my shirt really quick. So hopefully you can still hear me, but this microphone thing, unless I buy like a true Yeti microphone and like buy a different camera, because I use my iPhone, I'm never going to be perfect. I feel like I got the quality of the camera down and all this, but the sound is a pain in the ass. But I have found if I hold it, it does better. But I need to show you all how these bottles work. So it's like an egg, and it is ridged. It is totally plastic. I thought it would be glass, or at least ceramic. It is not. It is 100% plastic. But the bottle is designed like the back of SJP's shoe line. So all of the backs of her shoes had like a ribbon ridge with like a little pull tab for the, like you to pull it onto your heel when you wear a high heel or a slingback, and it had the SJP. So I will find some photos of the backs of her shoes and pop them up for you. But that's what these bottles have been designed around, which I think is kind of cool. And that's where I know she's involved in it, because Sarah is very meticulous about everything, and she has spoken about that. She actually wears her fragrances, and she's very detail oriented, especially with her shoe line. She was very detail oriented with that. But the bottles are also magnetic. Really like that. So I see the $100 purchase price. What is all this? Oh, this is the fragrance. I thought it was like mist. So again, plastic, this nice gold top, plastic, the engraved SJP on the top of the atomizer. All of her fragrances have that. Even A Lovely Summer Sunburst has it. And then if you notice, this kind of like design is what the bottle is. That's like her thing. So I was pleased with the overall packaging. Even inside there, it says SJP. So really good attention to detail, which is typical for Sarah. So we'll dive right into why this is my favorite. I love the color blue, and I really do like iris, and I love musky scents. Amber, nutmeg, mandarin can kind of go either way, and we know how I feel about oud and sandalwood. They're kind of either way as well. So there's a lot of either way with this. I will say, upon first spray, you definitely can't give up, because first spray is a little bit, it's kind of like a oudish iris, and I just didn't love it on first spray. Back to holding the microphone. I didn't love it on first spray. However, I trusted it because I have smelled other scents in this profile that work. They eventually turn powdery and lipsticky, and that's exactly what Blue Rhapsody does. On my skin, it's a little bit light, but it just has this really romantic, comforting cotton musk aura to it. When I purchased these and they got delivered, my husband had made me dinner, and I went downstairs to eat with him, and I had sprayed it on this hand. And as I was eating, because I'm right-handed, I was wafting the fragrance, and he was sitting next to me, and he goes, "Whatever you're wearing today is amazing." And I was like, "Thanks, it's the new Sarah Jessica that I just got." And he's like, "Oh, is that what you were opening?" And I said, "Yeah, I wanted to wear this one first." Sorry if you can hear that in the background. My husband is actually using his hair dryer. So hopefully I can tune that out. I just turned on noise cancellation. Maybe that'll work. Anyways, it smelled really good. So I didn't apply a lot because I was planning on testing on my other hand one of the other fragrances. So that very next day was my last day of work for the week prior to getting some new tattoos. Actually, if you see, I'm bandaged up and I've got a big one on my side. I wore this all day at work, and then I reapplied it in the late afternoon because it lasted, but I had changed clothes for the tattoo appointment because I knew I was going to get a tattoo on my side, so I needed a more flowy shirt. I only reapplied again because of the change of clothes, but I think I oversprayed when I went to the tattoo parlor. Plus, I knew I was going to have my shirt off, and the tattoo was going to hurt, and I was going to sweat, and I didn't know if my deodorant was going to hang on. So I kind of oversprayed my body too. Thankfully, it didn't hurt my tattoo artist. She actually loved it. She complimented me because she was right up in my business, and she's like, "You smell amazing." So compliment galore with Blue Rhapsody. It's just very specific. I like it. I think I would probably repurchase this too because it is such a well done, musky, powdery violet. I definitely am keeping it, obviously. Like I just said, I would repurchase it. So I did take the plastic off. However, that is not the case for the other two. And I have given these days of wear. So let's put Blue Rhapsody down and jump into the next almost perfect one. So Smitten in Pink is my second that I like, but I'm not going to keep. So that is why I have kept the plastic on the box so that I could just sample it and then I'm going to return it. I did not wear this very much, but I didn't need to wear it a lot to know it's just not for me. So with Smitten in Pink, we have a fall head over heels, gorgeous scent. The floral wild dreams, heart's race as brooding musk is seduced by coquettish orange and a love affair for the ages. I also feel like Sarah wrote this because she uses words like coquettish. Its top notes of taget, jasmine, orange, mid notes of amberwood, praline, saffron, musk, ambrox, and oak moss. So we all know how I feel about saffron. If you've watched me enough, you know I'm not a saffron fan. This is labeled on Fragrantica as a amber, sweet, musky, woody, mossy, warm, spicy scent. And the biggest comparisons that this got were Baccarat Rouge 540 and Cloud by Ariana Grande. So it is in that scent profile that I don't really like. I like Cloud 2.0 and I like Cloud Pink. This kind of reminds me of Cloud Pink. And I like some of the interpolations of Baccarat. I don't actually like Baccarat. When I smell Baccarat on other people, it actually makes me physically sick. I smell it on people all the time because everybody thinks they're wearing, something niche, but it just stinks. I don't like Baccarat. So unfortunately, this does smell somewhat like it, but not enough for what made me dislike it. What made me dislike it is the longevity. For the price, even with the discount, I'm not going to wear this. It fades from my skin quickly. I don't feel like it's because of the temperature. It is just the way the scent works. It does not work for me. I will say, if you like the Baccarat DNA and you want something that's not as musky and saffrony, this is more sweet. I am glad that the saffron wasn't strong in this, and that's what made me almost keep this. However, the sweetness that is nicer doesn't last long enough and doesn't give enough uniqueness. So this one is going to go back. I hate to say that because I really did think I was going to like Smitten in Pink, but no. Again, really cute bottle and I love the color, but she's getting packaged back up. Now our last offering is Divine Lime. Beautiful bottle. Look at that color. Oh, I love it. Lime green, one of my favorite colors. Like I've always said, I love blue and I love green, and I do love pink, but I just love color. Like I love bold color. If I could have my car be this color, it would be. I actually have a gold car. My car is gold. It's a specific type of color. It's called Tiger Eye Pearl. It is a pearlescent, deep, ambery gold color. I specifically bought the car for the color. I love my car. It is one of my favorite cars I've ever had. I went through a really bad car accident last year, as you all know, if you followed me. And when I lost that car, I made sure I got what I wanted this time. Sorry, I had to turn off noise cancellation. Hopefully that sounded good. But I bought an orange car. So if I could have a car this color, I would. I love it though. This one is a citrus white floral spicy scent. Pretty straightforward, but pretty boring. It smells a lot like all the Portofino de Aquas, the what's that, light blue, all the interpolations of that, very sexy sea, anything aquatic, fresh. That's what this smells like. It's not bad. It is a little different. It's more aromatic, but it has the worst longevity. Smitten in Pink is maybe 2 to 3 hours. This is like an hour. After an hour, even after a shower, because I thought wet skin, this would smell better on, even wet hair, it's gone. It is kind of comforting when getting out of the shower and maybe wearing it to bed. But again, for the price, not worth it. Now, if these for some reason do ever pop back up at like Marshalls or TJ Maxx for low prices, I will probably rebuy this one. I don't think I would rebuy Smitten in Pink because I just really don't like that sugary sweetness that kind of gets woody. Thankfully, not as saffrony. This is pretty. I just wish it lasted longer, but if I could get it again cheap enough, I would use it like a body spray and spray the hell out of it. But it's just not worth it. I don't need it in my collection. That's kind of how I felt about Smitten in Pink. Didn't love it, but I don't need it in my collection. And I don't need Divine Lime. I do think it is pretty, but I just don't need it. And since I read everything else, I'll read this one. This box described it as dance across the heavens in a blaze of vibrant florals and enticing luminosity. Inner radiance dazzles and gleams as sparkling citrus cascades over ethereal orange. They're so bougie. It's definitely Sarah Jessica writing all that. But again, it's got bergamot, grapefruit, mandarin, neroli, jasmine, orange blossom, solar musk, amber, and sunny woods. It's definitely more of the sunny citrus. It's not really ambroxan, musky. A little in the dry down, but overall, it's just a simple citrus. It's very safe. There is that underlying of that aquatic aromaticness, which I really typically love in fragrances, but it doesn't have enough throw, and unfortunately, it just doesn't last. So she's going back as well. I was excited to try them though. I think out of 4, 2 work. So hey, that's half, not bad. 4 new fragrances, 2 of them work, and they're both on opposite spectrums. I could say that this and this are kind of similar. They could probably layer, but I don't think it would save either of them with longevity. I think 2 poor longevity fragrances layered don't make a better longevity fragrance. So I think they would smell pretty together, but not enough for me to keep it. So those are my reviews on the Sarah Jessica Parker Lovely Sunburst Flanker and the new SJP Parfum collection. I hope it does come out to some of the retail stores that are cheaper and more people can try these. I would resell them for a cheaper price, but the fact that I used very little of those 2 and Belk has a pretty realistic return policy, I'm going to just return them and get my money back. I'm not going to sell them, and I don't want to give them away. I do want to get my investment back if I can. Even if they said we have to give you a store credit, I'd be like, be right back, because they sell a lot of brands that I like, and I'd go find something else. So just not worth like reselling. I do suggest if you live in the United States and you can order from Belk, try it. But if you're going to blind buy, the only one that worked for me was the one that can also be very difficult for other people to wear. Like, if you like these notes, this is a safe blind buy. If you like these notes, this is a safe blind buy. But the longevity is just not there, and you really have to like the notes. Same thing with this. If you like fresh citruses and you can have 65 of them, then this is a safe blind buy. None are 100% safe blind buys, but you kind of have to read the notes. Hopefully these reviews that I and other people will give will help determine. So yes, this was a safe blind buy for me, luckily, but it easily could have been all 3 of them going back. And had this not worn so phenomenally on my skin and I got so many compliments and it truly turned into a beautiful fragrance, I would have returned every single one of these, other than Lovely Sunburst, because $40, I'm not that upset about it, but 100 down to like 80 something, still too pricey. So that's that. Hope you guys enjoy the review and the video. I will see you in my next one. I'm trying to film more. Sorry for my absence. I know I've been doing a lot of videos of me just holding stuff. It's been a weird couple months with my health and some other things going on. So I'm hanging in there, and I'm still loving fragrance in the meantime. I would say please make sure you follow my Instagram, because I do update that the most. It's easier. Here, I try to do these long form videos. Even when I do the shorts here, I feel like I'm shorting you all because you come here to watch me and you come here to get full reviews, and I can't do that on Instagram. Even with a picture post, it's not enough. And I've lost a lot of my engagement on my Instagram. Even though I post there frequently and I have over 8,100 followers, people all the time are telling me they don't see me. And I get way more comments and interaction here on my YouTube channel. So y'all are obviously seeing me here. Instagram is just a weird, fickle bitch, but that's because it's owned by Meta, and we all know what that means. So anyways, I'll see you all in the next video. Bye-bye.